Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerds Fun 5 has been playing paintball since 1994. He's played with the Ironmen. He's played with Miami Effect. He's played with Infamous. He's played with Legacy. He plays the 10-man with KAPP. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, JP.
What's up, paintball nerd? What's up, nerds?
Yeah.
Paintball nerds out there.
Oh man, I'm happy to have you, dude. I've some of my favorite paintball memories are with you, dude.
Yeah, likewise, man. We the whole SC Village and Ironmen era, Bushwhacker era. So in Sitting Ducks, Great Western era. So we definitely I felt like we lived it up in the golden era of paintball, as many people would say it is, and I might agree, just because I think pros now are playing 4 or 5 tournaments a year when we were playing 10 tournaments plus Europe. I heard pros or American players can't play in Europe anymore or something like that. And we also played in cool places like Vegas, Huntington Beach, Mardi Gras, Miami. You name it. Now it's just like there's no tournaments in the West Coast anymore. We're playing in the mud now. Like I see pros playing in the mud. So yeah, no, we're definitely spoiled. We had awesome paint back then. Paint's good, still good, but low key, it's not as good as it was before, dude.
Low
there
key.
Ain't no Marbleizer, there ain't no Imperial, there ain't no Hellfire.
Oh man,
they're trying to do a comeback. Hellfire. They're doing a comeback with Ultra Evil, and that's pretty. That kind of reminds me of a little mix of Imperial and what Evil was, but still not the same. So, but yeah, man. So I'm glad to be back in paintball. I stopped in 2008. Actually, I played with Excessive after Legacy, and I played with 1 year with Russian Legion, but I was never on the starting squad. But they put me on the Division 1 squad called Dark Legion. And after that, in 2008, I didn't play any paintball. Just focused on my photo career. And I got back into it in 2019 when they started doing all the 10-man tournaments, and I saw a YouTube video of everyone playing Iron City, and all the old school teams were back, like Aftershock, All Americans, KAPP Factory. Even Roy and Dave brought their old amateur team back, and I was just like, yo, if everyone's coming back, I'm gonna come back too. And so I saw Mike Breda put a post saying oh, we're looking for players for Iron City, and it happened to be 3 hours away when I was living in Ohio, and I hit him up, and then he's like, yo, yeah, dude, come play with us. And he helped me out, let me use all his gear because I didn't have any, and I was hooked going back into paintball again, just because now paintball is fun again, man. There is no way I would have been playing paintball if it was just X-ball. There's absolutely no way.
Dude, it's crazy.
I was at that time, I was a fat dude, I'm not fat, but I was I was happy hour, eating pizza, hamburgers every day, and I wasn't doing anything active. And I was just dude, there's no way I can play X-ball in this kind of shape. But then with 10-man, it's totally chill, dude. So I was I'm back, dude. Paintball is back, and now I'm having fun. Now I'm I told myself I'm only doing 10-man. I slowly got sucked into playing X-ball too. I was just playing a couple I just thought, there's there's a separate X-ball field, and there's a separate 10-man fields. And I was just all right, I'm gonna see if I could when I was at ASG, I was I'm gonna see if I could hop on these games real quick, and then I just look over, and one of the kids was yo, so you want to hop in? We're looking for a fifth. I was all right, cool, I was my first X-ball point, and I just did a run through, shot 3 dudes, and I was just yo, it was the first point too, right? And I was yo,
I'm back.
Yeah, dude, I still got it, dude. Let me see if I could do this. And it was it was the same time Arnold and Tyrone were getting back into the game, and I was yo, Arnold, let's try to play some X-ball, So Arnold, Tyrone, John Paul from Critical, and then we would just grab another 5th dude, and we started playing pick up X-ball games, and slowly but surely we started playing more local X-ball stuff. But now it's kind of fun just because now the game's a little bit slower in terms of rate of fire, and the bunkers are bigger than it was back in 2000, early 2000s. So I feel old dudes can still play. Like, I mean, obviously just seeing like Dynasty still playing, and like, you know, you still see Thomas Taylor and like Shane Howe play. He's like, you know, he's 50. Like, you could still do it, but like back in our day when we were playing, like old dudes weren't playing at all. Dude, I think like the oldest dude was like probably in his late 30s. I think that might have been Todd Hugo or something, or like on our squad on Ironmen, like the oldest dude was Rich Telford. He was like in his early 30s at the time, and but that was considered old as shit. But now it's like the average pro age is like early 30s now. If you look at all the squads like Impact, Heat, and you know, Dynasty and everybody else, everybody's in their 30s. There's no youngsters anymore. Yeah. It's kind of a trip if you really think about it. So yeah, like I don't even know where I was going with this, but I feel like now, like, I mean, we're not at the golden era of paintball, but old dudes can still play. I guess what I'm trying to say.
I feel like it's the golden era is coming back. It's crazy because like I left paintball for a while too, and then when I came back, you know, a lot of the same characters were still there. Like a lot of my friends were still in it, and they were still competing at the top level. And you know, I reconnected with you, and it was funny because I hadn't seen you in a while, and then and the next time I saw you, you were a world renowned photographer, and like that's not how I left you. Like that's not the JP I left. And then it was like, man, a lot of time has gone by, but paintball kind of puts you in this time vortex where when you're with that group of people, it's like right where you pick up right where you left off. No matter how much has actually gone by, how much living has gone by, it's like you're with that group, and it's like here's my people. You know, we're back at it. But I love the 10-man as well, dude. That's my jam. I'll play a little bit of X-ball here and there, but I think I prefer actually the style of 10-man. Like not just because it's slower, but like I prefer the format of the game. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like with X-ball, I just like after a point, you have to be ready in like 30 seconds or less. Where it feels like 10 seconds, but I mean, what, to give you a minute or two or something, but like that just doesn't feel like, that's just too much, or it's too much of a rush for me, you know? Like, I like to just chill, play my point, and then like just take off my gear, eat some barbecue, you know, shoot the shit, like talk about
have a great time.
And that's how like 10-man tournaments are. Like you play your 15 minute game, and you have like an hour to talk about it. Like you know, like you don't get that in X-ball. You have all these like 4 to 5 awesome points, but you just like forget about it because you don't even have a chance to even talk or celebrate about it. So like that's like kind of
dude.
Yeah, that's kind of like the thing I don't really like that I don't like about X-ball. And then it's like, and then you have to like come up with like plays, and then like I feel like, you know, like a 2 minutes or whatever is not enough time sometimes. Like, so it's just like,
it's like when it comes to creating memories, like if you want something that's memorable, like I always tell people, go to a 10-man event. You will create a memory at a 10-man event because you'll play paintball, you have a good time. And yes, there's competition. There's a high level of competition. Everyone's there to win still, but there's a different vibe where it's like kind of harkening back to the fact that paintball is a game, and it's a fun game, and you're outdoors and you get to just hang out with your buddies. And I feel like that's really what 10-man taps into, is the fact that it is and was and always has been a fun game. And it's going back to, you know, you're just going back to playing that fun game. And, you know, a lot of memories happen on the field when you slow it down like that, when you have these individual games, such as games in the semis or the finals, where everything is riding on that one game, and could, you know, that your destiny could be riding on one move. That's where the memories are created, dude. So
I agree.
I know there's a lot of memories that you have in paintball. We have a lot together, both on and off the field. But JP, tell us about a memory that really sticks out for you.
All right. So I don't have like a specific memory, but like a specific year is for me, it would be season 2004. I just joined Miami Fact, which became Infamous, and that was like our rock star year. Like we were just Infamous likes to have fun, so like that in terms of playing tournaments and off the field, it was just like all I think 12 of us were on the team, but all 12 of us would always go out like after a game, and we would just paint the town red. And like everyone would always want to hang out with Infamous, and we'd always have like a good crew with us. So whether we be like at Mardi Gras or in Vegas, San Diego, Huntington Beach, Toulouse, wherever, like we just like mobbed the whole city, and like that was really fun to experience the trips and the travel. Doing that, but we also won a couple tournaments too. That was like the year that we broke into the MPPL. In our first two tournaments, we won the MPPLs, and at that time, winning an MPPL tournament was quite lavish and glamorous. And so like, there's a good amount of memories that stuck with me on that, and it was just like a fun squad too. Like everyone in Infamous like got along. We never fought, or I mean, we never like no other teams really fought, but like everyone was just like your bro, you know.
Yeah.
But particularly and also like all the guys that I came up with in paintball were on Infamous with me as well, such as Gator Glaze, Rusty Glaze, Brandon Lambertson, and I think that just us four from the Check It Bushwhacker era years. And then, but then it was cool to be playing with like Chris Lasoya, John Richardson, Andy Kopgok, LB Travis, like these guys, you know, like legendary dudes, but they're like super fun to like party with, and definitely ball on the field, because like Infamous at that time was just like total like freestyle paintball, and they just gave me the freedom to do whatever I wanted, and those a good times. But
do you have a game that you still think about where either you did something cool or you could have done something cool and didn't and regret it? Like, do you have a memory that sticks out?
Not necessarily, but I know in Orlando 2004, I just had a great tournament where I was just like, I was playing the snake, and I just decimated everybody. Like, it was one of those snakes that was hard to play, but since I was super short and fast, I was able to like get onto their side right away. Like super before their snake I can get to. Yeah, just the X ball.
Okay.
And I would just shoot.
See, that's why you don't remember a specific thing, JP, because you were just playing point after point after point after point, dude. It numbed you.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. There's more memories in different formats.
Like I felt it, you know. Like if there was like a Golden Barrel award at that time, I think I might have been a candidate for it, because like my kill points were just super high, and but like no one was able to play this snake as good at that time. But then this is in 2004 when there wasn't that many NXL teams compared to what it is now. I think there's only like 8 pro teams at the time, because this is like during the split, NPPL NXL split. It was just kind of a bummer, but yeah, that particular tournament I felt it, and just because not only because I was killing a lot of people, but like a lot of people were like giving me props too, you know, like I was like, damn, JP, like and I was like, all right, yeah, you know, like I kind of remember that one. But there's
how about
game I remember. But
how about traveling? Like, where's your favorite place that you've been?
For paintball in particular, or just in general?
For paintball.
For paintball, Paris. When I was doing the Millenniums, I think I went there. I went there once right after Amsterdam, but then I just kept going back. So every time we played these European tournaments, I would just I would stay an extra week, and I would just like, whoever's down, I would just go to Paris, just because like I love the vibe over there. And number 2, or this is like a tie between Paris but also Brazil. And I went there with in end of 2005 during the off season, and I did 2 clinics there with Miko and Shalo Almeida.
Miko
Hutane. Shout out to Miko for taking me there, and Shalo for showing us around his hometown. That was probably like the coolest trip. And it just we did 2 trips, and in between that we would do like surfing trips in Sao Paulo and Curitiba and Florianopolis, and then we'll go jungle tracking, stuff like that. And then he also just like we would hang out with his girlfriend Kaka at the time. I don't know if you remember her. She worked a couple booths back at World Cup, and then all her friends, and then like his friends. So it's like we always had like a fun crew to like explore Brazil, and I felt that it was a privilege to go to Brazil through them at the time, because no one really speaks English there. I mean, they do, but like not like conversational English, you know. So like
right,
like at that, and it was I was 23 at the time, and I think that was like, I mean, I've done Europe internationally, but South America was like a whole nother level. That's my first time in South America and Brazil in general, and like the culture over there is just like way more like friendly, more open. Like the vibe there is just like I felt like I was at home. Like it was paradise to me.
yeah.
In a nutshell. So
So
yeah,
before
I would say
paintball,
Brazil.
like, had you traveled outside of the United States before it was for
No.
paintball?
My first time, my first international trip was Europe. Actually, no, I take that back. I went to the Philippines when I was like 5 years old, but I mean that doesn't count because I'm with like family and I'm 5 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you know, I actually never really cared about traveling until paintball came in the mix, and I think Brazil was like where I got like the travel bug, because like back then, you know, when I was a teenager growing up in Southern California, like I felt like Southern California was like the only cool thing to cool place to be, and like everything outside of that was like, you know, garbage. You know, it's kind of like you know, I had kind of had a narrow-minded way of thinking back then, and you know, I thought back then like McDonald's was like the best thing in the world. You know, like,
Young and dumb, dude.
until you go to like Brazil or all these cool places, they're like, man, like, you know, food's the bomb out here, and like American food is actually really trash, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like and also I felt it was an inconvenience for paintball to travel somewhere to play paintball, and you're typically in the mud or in the rain, and I was just kind of like stuck up, and I was just like, dude, like, why don't we just play here in the West Coast? And this was during like Great Western Series, and like there was a ton of local tournaments going on at SC Village and NPPL. So I was just like, why do we have to travel 11, 12 hours to go to Europe and eat, you know, trashy European food? You know, that was my thinking at the time. But like once I went to Europe, I was like, yo, like this is the vibe. Like I want to go to Europe and play competitively all the time and like internationally, you know. And so, and then that opened things up too with Brazil. Like I wanted to do that more. So I was like, I'd always see like people posting or like talking about like for example like Ryan Greenspan, Oliver Lane. This is a time when like all those guys were going to Europe and traveling a lot, and I was just like, yo, why are these guys like wasting their time traveling here when they could just play at SC Village, you know? But now I get it, and so that
kind of the most valuable thing, dude. For me,
opened my mind to for like, you know, culture and just life experience in general.
Well, you mentioned some radical dudes there. You talked about Miko and Shalo, and of course you've played with some amazing players, Lasoya and JR and Rusty. Do you have a favorite teammate?
Gator Glaze.
Yeah, Gator.
Gator, yeah, dude. He was he's just like the super funnest dude off the field. But on the field, he can ball it up, man. And and then there was a time where he was like, you know, like a big heavy dude, and then all of a sudden he lost weight, and then like now he started getting like super confident, started running through people going to the rocket off the break at ST and stuff. And I was like, hell yeah, dude! Like this is like the Gator I want to run with. And
dude, I had my paintball childhood was with Gator.
Your what?
My paintball childhood. Like,
that's right.
Early days of paintball, like stay at his house, like
that's right.
Almost every weekend.
That's right.
Yeah, Gator, dude.
He's one of my favorite humans. Era.
Yeah,
I've done that too. Like I crashed at their place, and whenever we had like practice or tournaments in Camp Pendleton, and that was fun, man. Like I kind of missed that too about paintball. Like, you know, I don't do that anymore. Like crash at some dude's house to play the next day, but like that was fun when you're a kid, you know what I mean?
When you're a kid, yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
But like it was like a whole paintball hangout. Like Whisper would crash there.
Yep. Mini Mike.
Yeah. You know? And then this is when Steve Moreno was with us too, and then he had Whisper and Gator, and every now and then like he would have people like travel out with them. So like I remember this guy Happy, who was on playing with Asylum or Sitting Ducks was crashing there, and and but yeah, he was super fun. Like Rusty was also fun too. I love playing with Goat, even though I only played one tournament with him. But like, I always felt like he was like always there. And
yeah,
Anson was like a love-hate relationship. Like I hated the dude, and I hated the dude, like the guy. Like he would always get at it like as like siblings, you know, a sibling rivalry kind of vibe. But like he would definitely bring the heat, you know, when it came to like clutch time. So
totally.
and it's a trip because like during the local tournament scene, he had his crew heavy hitters, and then I had my crew, which was Fast Effect, which is Arnold Tyrone, and his crew was like Rusty and you know, Goat and like that crew guys, and like we would butt heads, and like we would always cheat each other and like play on and spin and all that stuff. And I never wanted to talk to him because I hated the guy because he's like a hardcore cheater. But I actually didn't I
hope he's listening.
Yeah, I actually didn't say hi to him at all. But like I remember there's like a tournament in Tombstone. We're like at the air station, and you know we're plugging air, and he's like right next to me, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, oh, this guy again, you know, you know, I was being like the stuck up asshole at the time. And then like, you know, he saw me, we plugged up, and then he actually he was the first one to say what's up to me. Like he was just saying like, hey, what's up, man? You know, just being like cordial, you know. You know, I was being civil too. I was like, yo, what's up, bro? And he ended up actually been really cool, you know. So ever since I was like, all right, you know, I guess he's not like a wiping dickhead like forever, like or all the time.
No. He's just crafty and quiet, you know?
Yeah. And then but what's a trip though is like and then we ended up playing on the same team on Check It the next year. And
baller squad.
Yeah. And then after that we ended up being like homies. Like I still talk, like he's one of the very few people like I still talk to when I was not playing paintball. You know, like he was like one of those guys that could randomly text about stupid shit, you know. And and like it was never like we never had to catch up or whatever. Like everything was just like we just picked off where we left off kind of thing.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
a lot of that. I have a lot of friendships like that in paintball. But that Check It team was gnarly, dude. It was like you and Rusty and Gator and Tyrone, right?
SC Alex, and Mikey Mouse.
SC Alex.
Mikey Bastidas. I remember him.
Mikey Bastidas.
He was a lot of fun to play with too.
That guy was a baller. Like, what happened to him?
He's a real estate guy, I think.
Oh,
and yeah, right. But he was like the guy I came in when there were snakes and diamonds on the hybrid ball field. He was like the guy that went in first, and then I'll go in second, or we would just split our tapes together. But he was a lot of fun to play with. Dude, on the but as far as the pro level goes, I would say like out of all the players, that was the best teammate would be Billy Wing. And I know you guys too because you played with them too. But he was like the guy that's constantly communicating, and always provides you coverage, will always protect you. Like no one's gonna come bunker you, and say if
clutch
you
too.
Yeah, exactly. So say if you like get shot off the break or you get bunkered or whatever, you die. You know he's still gonna pull it off because he's clutch when it comes to low body situations, and he could play any position. He could play snake, Dorito, back center, whatever. The most versatile player. So I like in low key, he was probably the most underrated player, but he was like the best teammate for me. And he was like when I was on the first X ball season, he was like my back guy, and I think like my success comes from him because he lets you do whatever you want because you have the best back gun behind you. It's kind of like in football, if you have the best offensive line, you know, the quarterback can do whatever he wants because he's not going to get tackled and he has time to make good decisions. I felt like that's how I felt when I was playing on Ironmen with Billy Wing behind me. So yeah, like I would say on a pro level, it'd be Billy Wing. And he also taught me a lot of good stuff too, like in terms of like timing, running, gunning, and stuff like that. Because like there was a year, so like 2003, where everyone was kind of like discovering how to play X ball, and like making those corners was like impossible. It's like it's like a 50% or maybe a 25% success rate. You're gonna go into the corner, and then we started figuring out. I was like, dude, like you could either just run to the corner and just either run into their window or not. Or you can time it. You can do some running gunning, stay in this dead zone, shoot, and then go. And that way you can influence the the paint of the shooter, because now he has to dodge your paint or shoot back at you, vice versa. And now you have that window of paint that was like laning the corner. It's not there anymore because it's coming back to where you're sweet spotting, and then you take off. And then my success rate going into the corner or the 50, whatever, was like 60% rather than 25%. Just finding little like details like that. So that was one thing that I kind of, and I still use that tactic whenever I'm going to the corners and stuff. And so I would say he was definitely legit favorite teammate for pro.
Dude, he taught me a lot of stuff too. Like,
yeah.
I think there's a lot of players, even top players, that have learned quite a bit from Billy Wing.
Yeah,
you know? And I don't know, like it seemed like
Yosh Rao was Billy Wing's mentor.
Yeah, and I don't know why it's like not more known. Like I feel like
no one really talks about
more
it,
well
right?
known. Yeah, no one really talks about Billy Wing, but he's made a huge impact on a lot of top level players. And like I remember he taught me. He's like, no cowboy ass shit. He's like, you're just running down the field to look for someone to bunker. Like, be smart about your run throughs. And I totally changed the way I play paintball, because like sometimes I would just like assume that something is safe and I just go run down the field.
Right.
And dude, he taught me to wise up for sure. He taught me to be smarter.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one of the smartest players. Definitely one of the best snap shooters. And excellent at low body. Like if it's a 3-on-1, like most likely he'll pull it off. And I've seen him do it. I've seen him pull off a 4-on-1. It's crazy.
And you'll hear him the whole time. Like no matter where you're at on the field, you can hear Billy Wing
constantly communicating. And I forgot what I was gonna say.
How about to watch? Like who's your favorite player to watch?
To watch, well, so in the 10-man era, I would definitely say Avalanche, Aftershock, and Dynasty were like the three teams I always enjoyed watching. And it's
you gotta pick a dude
for the 10-man era. All right, for players. All right, so for front it was Little John, and he was the first pro player I saw in back in the GWS era, and he was just like a one-man wrecking crew, and he was just like a straight killer. Like he wasn't like a guy that would just like communicate and like be a team player. He just went out there and just straight went Terminator mode. So like, and he was one inspired me that I want to play like him. Like I want to
what's Terminator mode? Good. Like what does that mean?
Terminator, like he doesn't even like say G1 or G2. He just comes up with this cocker and just walks up and just like starts bunkering people. Like he does he's
walks
quiet.
Up?
Yeah, he's quiet, and he doesn't like some front players will like communicate and stuff like, oh, there's two guys here, He doesn't do that.
And then they run through.
He just rolls up, walks up, and just bunkers you out, and he's really quiet and crafty out there.
Yeah.
And as far as back players go, I'm gonna have to say Rich Telford. He's also actually a fun guy I enjoy playing with, just because he's super intense, constantly communicates the right calls to you, and you just have that positive reinforcement that you're in good hands no matter what the scenario is. Like it's just like even just like stepping on the field or just even gearing up next to him, you got that that confident aura. Like it's like, hell yeah, dude, we're gonna win this. You're like, he's got my back. He's gonna come up with the best game plans, and he's like super team oriented, and he also is like really good at like team camaraderie. Like I think that's what the thing too is, like playing on Ironmen. Like he made it really fun. Like we played like fun, like that you joined. It was like fun card games, card tag, fun pranks,
Card tag, dude. Oh
yeah, God. Card tag and hottie or whatever, where they turn the heater on and stuff like all these like fun. And then like when at practices, like when we're done playing, we'll go play basketball or like play wiffle ball or like do like fun stuff. And I think that matters in terms of team bonding. And then like you're gonna when you play in the tournament, you're gonna take that extra ounce to protect your guy, or just want to win.
And at practice, we'd all stay at his house and sleep in his living room and extra room. Like guys would be sleeping everywhere around his house, dude. He just opened up his house to like 10 teammates, dude. It's
That too.
Amazing
like
leader.
it was a fun, like everyone stayed in one room more or less, and it just kind of created that like kind of brotherhood vibe.
Totally, dude.
And I kind of miss that actually about paintball.
Yeah.
And or just in general, like anything I do, all the other things I do in life, I don't have that like brotherhood thing that you get in tournament paintball. And I don't know if it's still like that now, if there's like brotherhood teams.
I think I bet you it is, like for
like,
younger
like
guys,
corporate teams, you know.
You know, but like when you get older and it's like, just think about it. Think about you like at your age right now, going back and then sleeping on someone's living room floor.
Oh yeah, no,
it's not going to have the same appeal.
I think when you're in your 20s, you can totally do that, and I think
it's fun when you're younger.
Yeah, you can totally surf the couch when you're in your 20s, but like I'm definitely no one's gonna do that in their 40s now. But I'm just saying like current pro teams, like guys that are in their 20s, I don't know if they like are doing that kind of like lifestyle anymore. Like I'm kind of been I'm out of tune because I'm not really hanging out with other pro teams, but I don't know if they have that kind of brother. Probably like Houston Heat. Probably I've seen because I'll watch like Ronnie Dizon's like videos.
I see them docs, dude.
Yeah, Dizon docs, and I know they seem like they have like team houses and
bring back the paintball house. All the teams just bring back the paintball. If every team had a paintball house for all their players to live, oh man.
Yeah,
there were some good paintball houses back in the day.
Yeah, I was actually talking to some of the guys. I think it was like Houston Heat, like about if there's paintball houses, and they're telling me there's no more paintball houses. But yeah, like we lived in that era of paintball houses, and just to touch on that, like favorite memory is having a paintball house in 2004, which is the that year I was on Infamous, but the first paintball house I went to was Dynasty's house, and so Dynasty, Dynasty had that paintball house in San Diego State. It was a fraternity house, like it was like 10 bedrooms or something like that, all in one compound, and it was right on the corner of right across the street from San Diego State, and they lived next to a sorority house, and like there's nothing but all student houses around the area, so it's just all kids from 18 to 22 or whatever, and it was like from at least from like 2-3 p.m. to 4 a.m. It's just constant partying on this block, and but it's cool because like you're a paintball team, but you also like live together, and like this is the time when the movie Old School came out, and I wanted to live that lifestyle of having a house, but with just like all your homies, and so they had a house, and actually Miami Effect Infamous had a paintball house. I don't know if you been there or knew about it, but they had a house in Fullerton, and there was LB, John Richardson, Shane Harrison, and Rusty Glaze had that house. And this is the time when they were trying to get me to play in 2004. So it was like from end of 03, beginning of 04, like that whole off season. They're telling me like, yo, like Rusty was being like a salesman. It's like, yo, we got a paintball house. If you want to play for us, you can live in this house. Da da da. And this is like the time where I was actually going to school at Cal State Fullerton, so I needed a house to live in. My bad. This is from 02, 03. But either way.
Well, I remember before this, there was another paintball house, the HK house, which you lived in.
Yeah. That was so the Miami Effect. The Miami Effect house was before that, but so they had a house, and like I was like it wasn't as crazy as the Dynasty house. It was more like a chill house, like LB and John Richardson aren't really like party guys. The only guys that party was like Rusty. So like I would go if I want to get my party on. I'd go to meet up with Rusty, and I think like Travis and Mansky like would go out every now and then. This is all when they all worked at Empire, and it was only like 15 minutes from the house or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyhow, like so I saw that Dynasty had a house, and so I was at that point where I was looking for another place to live, and Gator and Anson were down to move in too. So I was like, all right. So like it took like maybe like 2 months, but I finally found like the perfect paintball house. It was across the street from FJC, next to downtown Fullerton. And it was like kind of like a block where it was just all student housing. And I had a sorority house that lived right behind me. And I was, super close to the campus. So it was just all like kids walking around, but it was super social. But it was perfect because it was only 30 minutes from SC Village and very centralized for all of paintball, like of that paintball community. So I ended up getting that house, and it was probably the wildest like time. Like exactly what I predicted that was going to happen, but well, way more amplified. You know what I mean? More than I thought,
dude,
could actually ever happen.
Like the wildest stories of my paintball memories came from that house.
I'll keep PG-13, but you can kind of get the drift of like if you're, which is like teenagers, early 20s, and I was 21 at the 21 at the time. Like Gator was 20, and so we were young. Like I think it was like 19 or 20, but
rowdy.
But what was cool is that like outside of the rowdiness, a lot of people of the paintball community came and hung out with us. And so my roommates at the time, but it was constantly changing, was so it was first Anson and Gator. And then and Gator was like my constant roommate for the most part. But then Roy Richards came in, Shane Harrison came in. They're cool roommates too. They weren't rowdy, but they definitely just played video games all day, and got me into the whole video game things. It was like World of Warcraft, or Warcraft 3.
Yeah,
I think. That was fun. They're good roommates though. They weren't too wild, but they we went out every now and then, And then who else was there? But the wild time of that when I was at the house was when HK moved in, and specifically from HK it was Scott Kemp, Paul Caddick, Josh Myers. I think that's it. I might be missing out a couple, but then with those three in there, we had that like the constant guys on the couch, which was Whisper, Jules Foote, and Bobby Aviles, rest in peace, and
Rainey. Me?
Rainey came every now and then too. Rainey and Whisper came together, and these guys were 16 years old at the time. So like this was like their club. Like this was their party. They couldn't go to the bars or anything, and or to the nightclubs, 18 over nightclubs. So this is like when right on their Friday nights is when everyone piles in, and they just like the rowdiness just kicks in, and who else? Yeah, I said Paul Caddick, right? Yeah. But so it's with them, and then plus you had like all the other like HK guys from South OC, which was Marky Crescent, Scott Crescent, Nabi, Jay. Brendan Ford.
Marcus would roll through every once in a while.
So Marcus Nielsen stayed at my house. Rest in peace, Marcus Nielsen, for 2-3 months, and that was fun because like he was probably the funnest dude to live with and party with also, man. And he was just like, also he's like a wild man, but he pulled through. Like he brought in like maybe like 40 girls, not 40 girls, but maybe like 10 girls, but like he'd always bring a lot of Asian girls to the house, like
he loves Asian girls,
which made it more fun because like when girls come over, it's like the vibe is like way more chill because like no one wants to party with just dudes, like
exactly.
And we'd be so dude heavy, like I'm talking about like 60 dudes at our house at a time, all paintball dudes, so it's just like real wild. But what was cool about it too is like we would all meet up at the house pre-party a little bit, and then wherever we went, we mobbed deep. Like there was like 50 to 60 deep, no matter where we went. Either be to the mall, to the movies, to the beach, to any party, to the bar, house parties, whatever. Like we came in like straight up like hardcore, like a mob of like 8 cars deep, just a mob of us, and no one fucked with us. There's like always a handful of fights here and there, but for the most part, like everyone wanted to be like homies with us, it was fun in that nature, but it also just got out of control too, just because like I was going to school at the time, and during the day or during the weekdays, like they'll still be partying, but I'm like, dude, like I'm waking up at 7 a.m. I still got to like do something. Like Roy was working at System X at the time. he wasn't getting any sleep either, you know. And he's roommating with Gator, like sharing the room with Gator, and like, you know, Gator, like, I think he was working like a construction job, so he didn't really care if he had like sleep or not, you know. Yeah, dude, like it got old after like maybe like a month or two, and I was just like, man, I don't know if I could do this for the rest of my life, dude. I only had that paintball house.
Yeah, it's fun that you have those memories, but they're not It's not a sustainable lifestyle, you know.
Yeah, I was like, for a year and a half, I think I had that house, and I'm glad I did all that when I was young, because now it's so much easier to focus later in life, because now it's like, you know, it's out of your system, you know, it's like been there, done that, you know. So now it's like, if someone says like, oh, you want to go out to a party or this and this and that, and I'm like, no, it's cool. I'd like to stay in and get my rest and do good at work tomorrow, you know, like, or do good at the paintball tournament, you know. And
dude, how did you go from playing paintball, like, because that's what you were doing when I left paintball, to being a world-renowned photographer? Like, well, just how did I miss that? It happened quick.
So it's through traveling a lot. So another specific memory for me through paintball was in 2008. That season, and that's the season when I went with Russian Legion, and we had a 12-week contract to where we had to spend 12 weeks intermittently in Moscow to train. So I was doing that, plus I was doing the 5 NXLs, 5 MPPLs, either with guesting with Iceman or LTZ, and then I did 5 of the Millenniums, which is the European tournaments called at the time, with Moscow Cast, which is another Russian team. So it was just pretty much that whole year I was constantly on the road, traveling, playing paintball, and then like I never really had time to go back home because I didn't have to go back to Moscow, and then train over there. And then I also did a tournament with Bad Company in South Africa, and so there was constantly like everywhere. And then like in the Millenniums, after a tournament, we'd all go backpacking. I was backpacking with like Brandon Fort, because he was doing PB fashion with headbands over there, and Ag Ben, and then we'd meet up with whoever that wanted to travel with us. Like it was like a lot of the HK guys would always travel, like Bobby and Scott, Whisper.
So you would just take pictures from traveling, but how did you make it a profession?
Yeah, so like after after I got cut from Russian Legion, I just had I started getting more into photo just from traveling, just because I would take pictures during my travels, and then it was just like a snowball effect. Like Marcus Nielsen's girlfriend at the time was a fashion designer, and then I was partying with Marcus, and he was like, "Hey man, like, you know, you should shoot my girlfriend's collection." Da, da, da. And I was like, "All right, cool, I'll do that." You know, I didn't really know much about fashion photography or like studio lighting, but I ended up assisting a photographer for like 2 weeks, and he kind of showed me like the technique of how to light. And then I shot her collection, and it came out cool. And then she kind of started like kind of showing me like that world, that fashion photography world, if you will. And then also my sister was a designer at the time. She was designing for acrylic and I think it's LRG, but for the women's collection. So she started putting me on jobs through that like streetwear scene in LA, and it was just like a snowball effect. I kind of never planned it, to be honest. Like I was never really a photo guy, or I was never really into art in general throughout my paintball time. So it was really like an unexpected thing, but if anything,
it came from paintball too.
It was.
It really did.
If anything, if I'm grateful from paintball is helping me find what I want to do in life, because I think that was for me the hardest thing to let go in paintball was finding what to do afterwards, because like, you know, at that time it's like paintball is all I knew, and I think that a lot of people that are playing paintball now like do have a hard time getting out of paintballs because that's all they know, and they don't know anything else to do. Like I could have been working at a paintball store or working in sales, but I didn't know. That's not what I do though, you know, or it's not my passion, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like I think I like in between that I was working the dye booth, like setting up the dye trucks, and the hybrid trucks in between that. And I thought that was cool, but I only did that just because of the fact that I was able to travel and stay out an extra week early from the tournament and just like hang out and party. But that wasn't like what I wanted to do like on my life. So, and if anything, it's like I'm grateful that paintball kind of like showed me, or like that whole year of 2008 when I was just like constantly traveling. I kind of did like a self discovery, if you will. Like I don't know how to phrase it, but you know what I mean. But yeah, like I just kind of just like let it ride. Like I kind of just let serendipity take over and just wherever photo took me, like I just went with it. And like wherever I went, it was fun. Like I had I lived in New York for a few years and lived in Ohio for a few years, and also just traveled a lot throughout Asia and Europe. And so far it's like I've been in it like for 13, 14 years, and it's been a blast, man. Like, so I'm just like kind of lucky that I found.
Is there anything that
my call?
Anything that you cherish most in your paintball gear bag or your paintball closet?
Yeah, like I actually did a lot of jersey trading over the years, and so like my jerseys are kind of like my thing, but specifically it would be like my Sandana gear, my headband and my head wrap, because I've had it since 1999, and the quality of the new Sandanas now aren't the same anymore. And like back then we all wanted to look like Billy Saransky of Aftershock, like all the Aftershock guys, because they all wore the head wrap. So like me and Gator were like big time like paintball trivia fanboys, and just like knew what everyone nerds, you know, what everyone's wearing. Like we were the guys that like we would pick up a magazine, and if you looked at the photo, we already knew who it was before you even saw their name on their jersey, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we watched all the paintball videos, all the Trauma Head videos, and we subscribed to every paintball magazine, and which is something I miss. But we've always wanted to wear the Sandana. And so there's a time when you couldn't get Sandana in the early 90s. It was kind of hard. But then JB's Paintball, which was the captain of Fatal Swoop, had a paintball store, and they were sponsored by Sandana. And they had just like tons of Sandana head wraps and headbands. So I remember it was in the valley near my area. And then he saw that I had a Sandana headband and a head wrap like Rusty and Gator, and they're like, "Yo, like where'd you get it? You know, we can't find it here in San Diego, Oceanside, or wherever." And I was like, "Oh, you know, it's at JB's Paintball." It's like, "Oh yeah, can you get me one?" I was like, "It's like, yeah." And I think we had like ended up having like a tournament or practice at Urban Quest or somewhere like near the area, and JB's was on the way. So Rusty or Gator went to the store and bought like 20 headbands or like 20 head wraps, like pretty much like bought the whole store of it. But it was like those are the two pieces that I cherish. And like when I got out of the game, there's like a certain bag of nostalgic things that I wanted to keep just in case like my parents like throw it out. And like it's lost in the attic, but luckily the headband and the head wrap somehow was stayed with my jerseys that I kept, and I never lost any of the jerseys. Some got stolen. I'm pretty sure it did. Like I have an old Fedorov jersey that's like more like the authentic Russian Legion one, and I'm pretty sure someone stole that from the field. I've been really trying to figure out how that happened. But I also have a head wrap from BJ from Strange. He had all the Strange guys wore that PJ Platinum do-rag. I don't know if you remember, but also Tom Martinez and John Richardson would wear these head wraps. And it said PJ Platinum had like these cool little checkered in like different colorways. BJ was wearing one that was red, and I think he was like one of the only guys that had a red one. And he was playing in Toulouse. We played a tournament in Toulouse in 2002, and he just won that tournament. And I just like, it was at that time I was like, you know, amateur still, and it was still completely okay to like go ask people for their jerseys. But like, since everyone was asking for jerseys, I just like went up and said like, "Hey, can I have your head wrap?" And then and like, you know, like nowadays, like no one's gonna do that. Like I don't think I think everyone's like when asking their head wraps, like asking for like the firstborn, you know, like
exactly.
Like, yeah, like no one's gonna like. There's too much like sentimental behind their headgear, and but he gave it to me, and I was like, hell yeah, you know. I was like, I didn't expect him that he was gonna give me his head wrap, and I was stoked, and I wore that in like the next year. I actually went played pro with Ironmen, or the next tournament, I mean. And I had the head wrap on, and then I remember in the finals I'm playing Strange, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna wear this head wrap, you know. And I was wearing like a completely different headgear, but I was like, yo, I just want to wear this one just for shits and giggles, and then I ended up getting shot off the break. But I'm pretty sure he was the one that shot me too.
That's awesome.
There's a it was in Paint magazine too. It's like I'm wearing the head wrap, and you just see a fat goggle piece. But also there's another.
So JP,
yeah, what up?
What advice would you give to a player who wants to like make their way up the ranks in paintball and get to the pro level? I know the game's different, but the advice still applies, right?
Yeah. So, you know, outside of just like playing as much as you can and you know, playing against other pro teams or other pro players and playing as many tournaments as possible, I would definitely practice being clutch, like your closeout. Practice being like Billy Wing, and which is like your clutch 2-on-2s, 2-on-3s, 1-on-1s, and you know, there's one thing to do it at like on drill day and practices, but I would say also the pressure needs to be there, and you can only really do it at tournaments. So it's you have to do that. So you have to play as many tournaments as possible, and you just have to when that moment comes, especially when you're in the finals, and you're playing the top tier team, and it comes down to like overtime, and it's 2-on-2. You have to embrace that pressure and just relish it. You know, especially when it comes to overtime, because it's like, because what's the worst can happen? Like, you lose also, but you also got to think too. Is like when you pull off that 1-on-1, 2-on-2, whatever the situation is, it's like the most like ecstatic feeling ever, and that's probably like one of the main reasons why most people compete in paintball or play paintball in general, is for that certain adrenaline high. So yeah, when you get when you get those moments, like it's kind of like waiting for the big like wave in surfing, like finally it's there, you know, like embrace it and ride it, and don't even worry about if you're gonna win or lose, I suppose.
I like what you said about the pressure, like, because when I think about pressure, it's like pressure can either turn something into a diamond, right?
Like, pressure makes diamonds. I love that. True.
Or it could just you could just smush you to smithereens.
Yeah, it can crumble. Use like kryptonite. You know what I mean? You lose your powers.
Let it turn you into a diamond. You know, that's
exactly, and that's what I was saying too. It's like kind of like don't worry about winning or losing. You just embrace that experience of being in pressure.
The process.
The process, like respect it. Enjoy the journey rather than the destination. And I'm kind of trying to find the right metaphor, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Well, when it comes to the journey, you know, there's certainly a lot to be thankful for. We're still on the journey, you know. But JP, what would you say that you're most thankful for that paintball's given you?
I think you nailed it. It's just is the journey, man. Like not only like the life experience and the world travel, and I think that the life experience and the world travel kind of got me to where I am with my photo career, and just finding what I want to do in life. Because you know, like saying earlier, that's definitely, I find the hardest thing to find is, you know, what career you want to do and love it and enjoying it. And I would definitely say paintball gave me that opportunity. And I would say that's my biggest what I'm grateful for paintball is the travel and life experience.
Awesome. Well, JP, thank you so much for your time here. Is there anything you want to part with for the paintball community?
No, I just definitely want to give a quick shout out. shout out to KAPP Factory, my 10-man ICPL team that I'm luckily get to play with every now and then. Definitely shout out to Roy Richards and Dave Baines for putting that together and getting all the old school guys to play again. But also what's cool is that we also get to play with some of the current pros, like the new school guys. And I find that kind of like that mashup to be what makes paintball fun in a way.
Yeah.
And Brandon Lamberson too. He helped me get back into paintball, and he's like really big in the mech scene, and he's doing big things at SC Village of getting all the mech guys together.
Yes, sir.
And then Glenn Forster as well. Like he lets me play at ambush and tear up his field. So shout out to Glenn. He also he plays with KAPP on KAPP with us as well, and he makes and that's what makes it fun too, is like Glenn and Rodney, like, those guys are like super old school, like, they play in the 80s. And so you have like these like different generations of paintball. And I think that everyone has like brings their own unique point of view, which makes it, I think you need to have that balance in a way. But no, shout out to Glenn and Tom for letting me play ball. But also a shout out to Team Philippines who I play. Team Philippines. I play local X-ball tournaments with them in the WCPPL. Play with them in World Cup, and he also took me to Malaysia just not too long ago in December. We're starting to play more NXL Asia tournaments.
Shout out to Will.
Shout out to Will. Yeah, so Ferdy, Will, Richie, Kit, and Todd Martinez is our coach too, man. So thanks to Todd for coaching us, putting us all together. And I think it's cool, like playing with Team Philippines, because it's like the closest thing to feel like being in the Olympics in a way, or like in a World Cup of soccer, but for paintball. So where representing your country is like it's just a different vibe. I don't know how to explain it. Playing with your like your respective pro team, but you just kind of give a fuck in a way, like
for sure. I want to join Team Philippines.
Yeah, man. I think we're still looking for players in NXL Asia, man. I know you played in the Philippines because I saw you there one time, and it's that kind of vibe still.
Right on.
Hopefully, I know they have some big plans, Philippines, in terms of doing NXL Asia, because I know I'm not sure. I'm too sure, but I know, like, how World Cup, they have a European qualifier, and I think they have a South American qualifier, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they're going to try to get a qualifier from Asia. So I think Team Philippines is trying to put that in there. So like Team Philippines actually got Quincy Boyes and Arnold Francisco out of retirement.
Yeah.
We're gonna try. And they kind of got me out of retirement, and we're trying to. I want to pick up Gino Benedicto. I don't know if you remember him, but I hit him up. So I hit him up, but he's all like not in paintball mode right now. But I'm gonna try to get him out, man. And we actually hit up Rocky Knuth too from Naughty Dogs. He's half Filipino.
I forgot he's Filipino. Yeah,
he's half Filipino. We I think Quincy or Shane hit him up. But hopefully he comes out too, man, because like that'd be fun to have him around. Some more old school legends to ball up. But I mean, there's also a lot of current Filipino players like Ronnie Dizon and some other cats. But
can't forget him.
Stunner. Yeah, dude, he's probably definitely one of the he's like our Cristiano Ronaldo of the Philippines right now.
He's our Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better metaphor, man.
Ronnie Dizon, you are Ronnie.
You're
Manny Pacquiao.
So So Dan, many thank you to Team Philippines for organizing that, and man, that's a little quick shout out. Shout out to shout out to Glenn Chon at Paintball Gateway. He actually hooked me up with the EMEC, got me into like the whole mech scene, and guys, Rory and P at ANS, they actually been helping me out, tuning up my TM40s, and helped me out with gear. That's actually my first paintball job, was at ANS, and so if it wasn't for ANS, I was 16 years old. It was my first job, and they helped me make paintball affordable because I was able to get like wholesale on things, you know. So like Marbleizer was like $120 a case back then, but I was able to get it for like, I don't know, like $70, you know, or something. I don't know, something much cheaper. But also what was cool is Arnold Francisco was working at A&S at that time, so it was like a big hangout. You know, I didn't really feel like a job, but they made paintball affordable for someone at 16. So massive shout out to A&S for helping me get my paintball lifestyle started. And
cool.
I think that's about it, man. But so yeah, man, thanks for having me on the show, man. Probably talked longer than expected, but
it's perfect, buddy. I appreciate you.
All right, paintball nerds.